Hello, and welcome to the Rotary Club of Broadbrook, Connecticut's Service Above Self. I'm Ann Osborne. Rotary International is a worldwide organization of over 1.2 million volunteers that provide humanitarian service, encourage high ethical standards in all vocations, and help build goodwill and peace to the world. This time on Service Above Self, we will be watching stories from the Rotarian video magazine. The Rotarian video magazine highlights just a few of the ways that Rotarians have touched the lives of people in our own communities as well as those around the world. The Mostar Bridge in southern Bosnia was destroyed during the Bosnian Civil War. Along with the 500-year-old structure, also torn apart was the solidarity and tolerance of the people in the area that the structure symbolized. In our first story, we'll see how the efforts of 21 businesses and professional leaders and the Rotary Club of Mostar helped rebuild the structure and helped reunite a city that was severely divided for more than a decade. We will also learn how the efforts of this club inspired Rotarians from other countries to initiate additional projects aimed at bringing this city together.
Mostar is a picturesque city of 125,000 people in southern Bosnia and Herzegovina. Surrounded by mountains and nestled in a valley, the river Neretva flows through it. A 500-year-old bridge, the Stari Most, is a revered symbol of the city. For centuries, Mostar was known for its multi-ethnicity, solidarity, and tolerance. But a terrible civil war tore apart the region, and the city is still struggling to come to terms with its own identity. The war caused much upheaval. Fierce fighting pitted family members against one another. The centuries-old bridge was destroyed. Amidst the rubble, an invisible division took hold. The Serbs fled. The Bosniak Muslims occupied the east side of the city, while Catholic Croats took over the west side.
There was a constant reminder that, Muslims and Croats can't live together, that Serbs and Croats can't live together. I think over time it had sort of sunk in that we're different, that they're the enemy, we can't live with them.
It has been a decade since the end of the Civil War. Two separate cities, two Mostars have existed for most of that time. Few residents have crossed over the imaginary dividing line to, as they call it, the other side.
Mostar je grad u svojoj historiji sa obilježjima multikulturalnosti, multinacionalnosti, zajedničkog života, što u osnovi uz ovaj humani aspekt propagira ideja rotarijanstva.
In 2001, when the barriers of ethnic division were clearly visible, 21 business and professional leaders met and formed the Rotary Club of Mostar, the first multi-ethnic organization in the region. Its mission was to change perceptions and move the city forward. The club's members began work on the reconstruction of the Stari Most, the Mostar Bridge.
Jer most je srušen iz istih razloga zbog kojega mi gradimo. Srušen je da uništi duhovni aspekt zajedničkog življenja. I ja mislim da uloga Rotarijanaca upravo u tome da obnovi duhovni aspekt zajedničkog življenja. Tehnički je vrlo lako to postići. Duhovno trebaju stoljeća.
Most of the leaders of the rebuilding effort, the managers, architects, painters, and construction engineers, were members of the club.
Ovo je nešto što je neophodno u ovoj sredini da bi se razdvojene strane koji je rat sticajem okolnosti razdvojio ponovo I fizički I duhovno spojili.
Inspired by the efforts of the Rotary Club of Mostar, Rotarians from neighboring countries got involved in other significant projects to unify the city. In 2004, they sponsored a program called Education for Peace.
My personal role in this project was first to propose Mostar as a location to bring education for peace here, because I had an idea that would be an ideal project for Rotary to support.
2 high schools in Mostar, a majority Bosniak on the east side and a majority Croat on the west side, were chosen for the 2-year program.
The project aims to bring together these 2 specific school communities that have been estranged from one another, so that they can hopefully learn from one another, but also teach to the wider community, to the wider Mostar community, some sort of unity and diversity.
Education for Peace goes into schools, works with teachers, works with administrators in schools, and works with students themselves, and asks for their input and for their ideas and for their opinions on how we can bring people together.
This project sets a signal that says, yes, even after those terrible years, after all that hatred, it is possible to bring the 2 groups slowly together. And we have to start with the young generation of now.
Today, thanks to the efforts of Rotarians and countless others, Mostar is on the verge of breaking through the barriers of ethnic division and strife. Years of hard work and determination may finally be paying off.
Pa, to je poruka, možemo reći, najbolja, sam zajednički rad. To znači da svi ljudi na svijetu mogu, ako nađu zajednički interes, razumijevanje, da mogu na svim projektima u svijetu zajedno raditi. To pomirenje ili suživot, da ne kažem, ideju zajedničkog rada i posla i bitisanja na zemaljskoj kugli.
The Stadi Most, the old bridge, has been rededicated and stands once again as a proud symbol of a tenuously reunited city.
Rotary Club, yes sir. Dosta.
Education for Peace successfully completed its 2-year program. And the Mostar Gymnasium, one of the most renowned high schools in all of Bosnia before the war, has been rebuilt and operates once more as a joint school.
Pa ja očekujem da će ponovo Mostar biti poznat u cijelom svijetu po mostovima koji spajaju ljude, a ne koji razdvajaju.
Mostar may never be the cultural mecca it once was, but hopefully soon ethnic tensions will dissipate and the residents will forget that a dividing line ever existed between them.
Yes, we have our different religions, yes, we have our different customs, but in the end we all think about what's going to happen in the future. Life is about what comes next. It's not about what has happened in the past.
With the downturn in the economy over recent years, the increase in the number of Americans suffering from hunger is staggering. The Rotary Club of Springfield, Southeast Missouri area has created a method of distributing food to local residents in need by sponsoring a mobile food pantry program. This provides groceries to those who normally wouldn't have access to a food pantry. The service has been an invaluable resource to residents, such as those in the city of Gainesville, where each month approximately 80% of the population awaits the arrival of the mobile food pantry to help feed their families. Up next, we will hear from the Rotarians who assist with this effort, as well as those who benefit from it.
Sign right here. You're signing that the information you give us is correct, or you can be prosecuted.
Where, ma'am?
Right under here.
Right under my name? All righty.
Oh, found 2 more? Good.
We're in rural southwest Missouri at a little town of about 500 people called Gainesville, and we're doing the mobile food pantry distribution as we do every month here. There's about 325 people lined up, roughly 80% of the town's population. What we see here really is kind of the face of rural poverty in America. Rural poverty is a lot about lack of resources. There's a lack of infrastructure in terms of jobs here. Literally, it's people living off the land, and increasingly, they can't make a living.
One of the volunteers had told a family member about it and told us to come out and that the truck would be here today. And she called us and reminded us and told us when a good time would be to get in line.
These people are just like you and I. These aren't people that live in homeless shelters. These are people living in poverty, trying to make ends meet in the richest country in the world, and just needing some help. Ozarks Food Harvest is the regional food bank for the southwest part of Missouri. We cover 20,000 square miles and 29 counties. And what we do is reclaim food that might otherwise be going to waste and redistribute that food to those in need. The Mobile Food Pantry is our newest outreach program, and it's designed to reach rural counties primarily who don't have access to a food pantry on a regular basis. So it's designed to bring food into resource-poor areas.
Well, in Ozark County, there's not a lot of work. It's kind of slow. Business is slow. Husband's self-employed with construction, so we kind of get what we can, and in the meantime, we make do.
We have an office set up inside the building where the people go in. They sign in. They have to show that they're low income. We give them their numbers to get in line. The products they get are Tide for shampoo, deodorants, toilet paper, baby food. On one side of the truck, the other side we're getting juices, cereal, beans, stuff that they can cook and make it stretch.
And your name? There's 3 people in your family. This is where y'all live. And
It's pretty nerve-wracking because you never know. It's a small community. You know, you don't want people to see that you need assistance or, you know, people know everyone. So it's a little unnerving.
I had volunteered at food pantries in the past, and I really wanted our club to do something where we were actively involved in a project that would affect the hungry in the southwest Missouri area. Ted Smith, who is a member of the Rotary Club of Springfield, brought the project to my attention.
I was reading the Chicago Trib, and there was an article about a food bank in Iowa who had converted and gotten a hold of an ex-beverage truck and turned it into that. Having just recently, before that, read that Bart had food that he was actually having to throw away because he couldn't get it distributed, and it seemed to me that this was a marriage. So we started talking about how to do that.
I had a meeting with Ted and with Tamara DeWild, and I just talked about the whole concept and explained how it would work to them. And they went back to their club and created a lot of interest.
We agreed that perhaps the best way to get the funding for the project would be to approach the other clubs in the Springfield area. They immediately decided that it was a worthwhile project and something that they wanted to get involved in as well.
No more rice crackers?
Yeah, there's a whole box full right down there.
Okay.
It's very important to have the food drives. With kids, it's always a difficult thing to get, you know, the things you need provided, and it's nice to have a little bit of extra help.
Literally puts a defining moment for us really was shortly after the All-City Rotary meeting in 2006. Steve Montgomery had heard about the project and was really excited about it, and he was talking to the owners of Ridewell Corporation, where he is the CFO, about the project and possibly making a major donation.
I shared with John and Beth Rydell, our owners, some of the ideas about the Ozark Food Pantry, how it was a blend of both local needs and the trucking industry, which is what our business is involved in, it was an opportunity to bring those together.
We wanted to do something meaningful for the community and something that our employees could be proud of and participate in. And that's how we became involved with Rotary.
Bridewell Corporation decided that they would fully fund the first truck, and they gave us a $100,000 donation. And we were floored. We were very thankful. We are so appreciative of their generosity because we were able to purchase the first mobile food pantry really within 8 months of our beginning fundraising for the project.
The mobile food pantry has had a tremendous positive effect on the communities that we serve. We've distributed 250,000 pounds of food in just the first year of operations. More than 5,500 people have gotten food off of this particular truck.
People call me at home and send messages, letters, notes, however they can, to tell us how much they appreciate it and how much, and if it wasn't for them, Food Harvest in this truck, they just wouldn't have made it.
For small communities, it means a lot to us when we get a little bit of extra assistance. It's very important to show that people do care.
We may not be able to eliminate hunger, but certainly we can have a real positive impact if we collaborate with other organizations, with food banks and the like, to give them additional mobile food pantries so that they can reach out and better deal with the issue of hunger.
I can't work, so I can't feed my kids and my mom. And this is just awesome. You know, sometimes you can't wash clothes. I got detergents and I can wash their clothes. I got food for them, I got snacks for them. You know, it's awesome.
We'll have a second truck rolling within a year. And, you know, there again, that speaks of the clubs working together to raise the money, to find a way to help out in our own community and to serve the community as Rotary's supposed to do.
Severe weather can destroy a home in seconds. Have a kit so you're ready for any emergency. Develop a plan for what you and your family will do before disaster strikes, and stay informed during severe weather any way you can. It can be the difference between losing your possessions and losing your life. Visit weather.com/ready for more information.
In 1985, Rotary International committed to a goal of ending polio worldwide. Very soon now, after immunizing over 2 billion children, the goal will be achieved. Rotary, humanity in motion.
Who says you can't teach an old dog new tricks? Maybe you should go to your shelter and get a mature dog who will make your blues disappear. How's that for tricks? I got picked. Wow.
Salam.
Salam. Ewa.
Rede.
Mir.
Shanti.
We all want the same thing. Peace. And Rotary clubs are making it happen. Through international scholarships for young people to promote peace and understanding around the world. Rotary, humanity in motion.
Although the civil wars that took place in the country of Bosnia in the early 1990s are over, there is one component of the war left behind that is still affecting residents today: landmines. Countless landmines were left buried across the country after the war was over. Citizens still fear that they may unknowingly discover one of these weapons, resulting in injury or even death. In our next story, we see how Rotarians in Bosnia continue an ongoing club project, assisting Mirzeta Goblajek, who in 2004 accidentally stepped on a landmine on her way to visit family.
I was going to visit my aunt, and there was a big puddle. and I wanted to avoid the puddle, and I stepped on something metal. And as I stepped on it, I was lifted into the air. Something exploded. I started to scream.
In Bosnia, the people suffered the damage inflicted by bitter civil wars. Homes and villages were destroyed, families were uprooted, and lives were torn apart. And today, although the soldiers have stopped fighting, the scars of these brutal armed conflicts remain. Bitter reminders that the wounds of war are slow to heal. Wounds reopened every time someone comes in contact with a landmine.
A landmine is a device that explodes and spreads shrapnel and is largely intended to wound, grievously wound, a soldier rather than kill. The shrapnel comes out at such force that it can kill or mutilate at 100 feet. The government has said the war is over, and the militaries have said the war is over, and they pack up and they head out. But the reality of landmines is the war is not over. It's going on today. This weapon is still fighting.
I remember when I woke up in the hospital. The nurse asked me whether I remembered what happened to me, and I said I did not because of the shock. You lost your leg. And in me, I do not know. I started screaming again.
She said that there is no need for any friendship because life is over. You see, I can't do anything with such kind of life with amputated leg. Mirzeta was almost on the brink on the suicide.
I don't know. You know how it was for me to accept. I was a child. It was not normal to me. And so in the beginning, I was sad.
Mirzeta Gobeljić's young life had already seen more than its share of hardship before she lost her limb to a landmine. Her parents had divorced, and she was caring for her paralyzed sister in a ruined house outside Sarajevo.
She didn't like me or any friend of me from Rotary Club to visit her home. But I always said, let me go home to see what's going on. But finally we saw, and Mirzeta told me, my problem is not only my amputated leg, it's also my sister.
Now she can't take care of herself. I watch her during the day. I bathe her, change her, when I have the time and when I can. She is very dear to me. What I mean to say is that I love her in a very special way.
She was anyhow living under difficult circumstances in her family. And so in addition to that, she lost the leg.
I really did not want to walk, nor to have a prosthetic device, nor to have visitors.
And I say, okay, stop. It is our project, you see. Your family is part of our project, and that's actually how we continue with Mirzeta since '99. And sometimes last year, she says, if it is not too much what I ask, can eventually you assist me with the college? Of course, I told her I was never thinking, you see, for yourself to stay where you are.
My plans are to complete what I've started now regarding my schooling, and then enroll at the university.
And she is now a great girl, completely has changed, and she's ambitious girl, and now she is thinking how to be involved in sport activities. She's even establishing sort of a sport club where she will also assist others and encourage others, you see, to think about future.
Now I feel like a normal person, like everybody else. As a matter of fact, after all, I do not see a difference.
March 2008. 4 years have passed since Mirzeta Gobeljić talked about her young life as a landmine survivor. Much has changed in Bosnia. Much has changed in Mirzeta's life as well.
If it weren't for them, I do not know whether I would be able to walk. Had they not helped me, how would it be?
4 years ago, our main focus was to identify those landmine survivors and to provide them temporary or first aid assistance. In this period, we have concentrated to the assistance in a manner of one-to-one. We are continuing to assist a number of selected landmine survivors, covering their completion of the secondary school, university, college, and starting the small businesses.
Mirzeta will soon be fitted for a new state-of-the-art prosthesis. This will help her in continuing her second year of studies at the university.
We managed to place Mirzeta at the University of Sarajevo, at the Department of the Social Studies, and we know that Mirzeta is going to be a very strong professional in the area of social assistance.
I wanted to attend university and study this major, maybe because of everything that I've been through. We work with all who need help and cannot help themselves.
She was assisting her sister and some others around herself, and she continued with assistance to others.
My intention is to graduate, to organize myself more seriously, to find a normal job, to help my family as much as I can.
Our aim is to support Mirzeta. As a member of our family, we plan never to cut relations with Mirzeta.
I have managed to find myself, I adjusted. I spend time with my boyfriend, and I have a good life. I hope it will all be well. I want it to be well.
Thank you for watching the Rotarian video magazine on Service Above Self. For all of us here at Service Above Self, I'm Ann Osborne, reminding you to go out, find a worthy cause, and lend a helping hand in your community. We'll see you next time.